my passion for sport with my physique goes to just watching rather than participating these days, but hey. My first objective today was to actually get up on the stage and get here without falling over, so I'm pleased to have done that. Let's see if I can do the same when I get off, but if not, that'll certainly go viral, I'm sure. Just a quick, we want to look at perhaps a slightly different take on social media today, just in the way that we look at things, and starting with what we call an on-site strategy, is how do you bring things into your own brand, into your own website, and then look to communicate out to other channels. So just to put it into perspective, I'll show very quickly a little bit about us, talk about our philosophy about social media, show some examples of what we've done with people to help them, and then just some how to create your own communities and some do's and don'ts that we've learned over the last few years. We've been doing this now for about, well, our system's been around for about 4 to 5 years, so we've learned a lot over the way people interact with it. So just to put it in context, just us, we're a social media agency. As Don said, we're based in the UK. We do a lot of work globally, though, and we provide social media software and services to organisations. We've delivered a lot of solutions, and the aim of that has always been to drive traffic to the site, get inquiries, build the business, and create loyalty for the customers. Range of clients that go actually from small independent attractions and accommodation providers right up to big international brands. So our philosophy, basically, we look at is very much about doing on-site and off-site together. Now, by off-site, we mean everything that everybody knows, so your Facebooks, your Twitters, and all the other social media channels that are there and available to you. On-site, we feel, is often forgotten. On-site is very important, and it's very much your own brand, your own website, and how you can engage with people there, and then use these fantastic off-site tools and help to drive new audiences, new ambassadors, and get them back to you. I think most companies at the moment are concentrating on the off-site, but our belief is that on-site has potential for longer-term benefits. We all know social media is an ever-changing beast, so who knows what's going to come up in 6 months or a year's time. If you can start generating conversation information on your own site, then actually you can use that wherever or whatever comes along in the future. So we believe that your own on-site social media should be at the core of what you do. Why would you do that? Well, there's several reasons. I'll go into this in a little bit more detail when I show some examples, but certainly we've got a lot of evidence to show that it increases browsing time, and I think one of the fellow speakers has said about the amount of time people spend on social media. Reduces time on competitor sites, never a bad thing. People may want them to go off to competitors, but most people want to keep them on their own site. Provides authentic, engaging information. People want to see reviews, peer-to-peer information, and they want to actually see other people's experiences. I mean, TripAdvisor, obviously, you know, the owners of that space for reviews certainly have educated everyone that that's what people want to see. Increase conversions. If you can show reviews against the right products, then you're more likely to get people to come through and book directly there and then. Targeting content. It's very easy, if you're doing this on your own site, to actually think about an area that you're looking to move into or an area that you want to promote in a higher value. So what you can actually do is encourage people to send in the content that you want on specific areas. So it's a very good way of generating really, really targeted information. So yeah, again, they're driving off-site strategy with your on-site. So when you get good content, you get information, do send it out as far and wide into as many channels as possible, because it will help to increase the awareness and drive people back. It is an investment. I've heard quite a few times that social media is free. Social media isn't free, we all know that. There's a big time investment, but if you get it right, it can be a huge, huge impact to what you do in terms of your business. So start with your on-site and then look at making that the core of your activities. Some stats that we've built off of some of the information that we've done. Looking at positive content on off-site channels, we've actually seen that it's about 63 to 67% of all comments on off-site channels are positive. If you're doing things within your own brand and on your own site, that can be increased to 80 to 90%. Now that tends to be for reasons because you have good brand ambassadors, that people will like your brand, they'll come back, they'll engage with you, and often upload good experiences. It also can be about the way that you ask questions. If you ask people to upload their favourite experiences that they've done with you, rather than just reviews, very slight tweak in words, but actually a really positive slant on the way that you can generate content. Sharing information across the other sites, other social sites. With Facebook, we found that if one of our sites is actually just sending content from their own platform over to Facebook on a daily basis, so not doing anything extra other than just having that information shown in a different place, they're actually driving 2.5 times their Facebook community back to their website per month. Several clients that we have tens of thousands. So if you have 10,000 Facebook fans, you can generate an extra 25,000 visitors to your website on a monthly basis. So you can start generating some serious traffic, and that's just from one source. In addition to that, with organic visitors, for every review or content uploaded to a site, we've found that on average, it drives 1 visit per month. You were talking about long-tail search just now. And it's a very, very key fact. You know, again, if you can get a good quantity of reviews directly on your site, you're going to get a good driving of traffic through SEO for the long-tail searches there. So, you know, social media really does need to be about investing in long-term. It is here to stay. We fully believe that now. It's had such a transformation over the last few years and a really big increase in a way that it impacts the industry. It's going to continue. So you need to start thinking about what you're going to do over the next 6 months, 6 years, and moving forward. Browsing time on the website I've actually mentioned before, but I will show you that in a second through the examples. So a couple of examples just to go through, and then finish off with the do's and don'ts. Voyages Jules Verne, I'm not sure how many people are aware, they're a tour operator in the UK. They're aimed at group travel, 55 plus, so not perhaps the demographic either that people would think as being your key social media sites. But they have a very, very loyal brand awareness, or sorry, brand that people come back to. They have about 40%, I think it is, repeat travelers. And what they wanted to do is create a space where people could exchange their experiences. They travel together, so they wanted to allow them to exchange photographs, actually talk about where they wanted to travel as a group potentially for the next time. So it was one of the things that obviously getting content, but find out more about what people thought of the experiences, where they want to go next. When they know where they want to go next, then the company can provide them relevant reviews from those destinations and products that they're interested in. So it brings a real relevancy into social media as well. We've also looked at doing staff, or we've created staff profiles here. Because they are a group operator, they always have a tour leader, and they wanted a way for the tour leaders to engage with people in a really informal basis. So that's worked quite well. People can ask questions before they go on tours, and they've actually found that some people will go on another tour just because they've enjoyed the experience of a tour leader so much. They will actually follow that tour leader to the next product. Of course, it needs to have an ROI, so there's always a direct link back to booking pages for tours that are shown about reviews. Showing relevancy, I mentioned just now, and it's come up in a couple of the presentations. Make sure that reviews are referenced against the right products. It is really important to give people the right reviews to the right places so that you can help make them make the decision. Results on this one so far, only launched late 2010. They've got 1,200 members, 75 videos, and it's approaching 2,000 photos uploaded to the site now. We're not talking massive numbers there, but they're really important customers to these guys. And the last stat's probably the most interesting, is that their website dwell time was about 3 minutes. And we've actually added an additional 3.5 minutes to the browse time under their brand. So it's adding a significant amount of time to where people are actually, spending within their brand themselves. Slightly different example with Visit Britain. We work a lot with destinations. We created or provided a platform for Visit Britain for them to gather reviews, photos, and videos. The aim of that was to drive organic search engine traffic and obviously gather this content for reviews there. What we soon realised is obviously people don't go to a national tourist board site once they've been and they visited, so it's quite hard for them to gather content. So what we did is we created the ability to connect a lot of individual solutions together so that we can exchange content between them. So from that, just looking here, destination management organisations, a lot of the individual organisations in the UK have their own branded solution. On the right there, you can see a local tourist board with the review actually then being posted straight through to Visit Britain. We extended that further to engage with accommodation providers and visitor attractions so that all of that content they can gather individually under their own brand. We found certainly attractions are very good at generating content because they've got usually a fan base or a members page or members area. So they're always looking for reasons to engage with them. All of that content then goes together to Visit Britain. Great for the individual providers because they get a lot of distribution. Great for Visit Britain because they get a lot of content. Visit Britain then integrate that content onto the relevant pages on their website. And the next stage for them is to, taking that social side further, is to provide travel companies and tour operators with that content free of charge. Visit Britain's only agenda is obviously to promote Britain and to drive as many people there as possible. So the aim is to give that, you know, to as many influencers as possible to drive people here. Drive people to the UK. Just a couple of findings. Starting point, really need to think about the objectives. What do you actually want to do with what you're actually going to produce? Reviews, is it just text reviews? Is it all media? I clearly liked your own community and discussions. I couldn't decide which was next important, so I've labelled them both B. Do you want to grow your own community? So you've got that long-time communication channel. Have discussions underneath your products, so it really references against the individual products that you have. And then you've got engagement features that you can have with the community. So are you looking for competition, loyalty, so that you can really reward those super users that you get? And then obviously information push. So once you find out more about people, make sure you provide them with information that can help them book in the future. If you are building community, who are the community going to be? Is it just customers? Staff can play a huge part in actually working well with online communities. And even to the down of company profiles, you know, if it's, we work a lot with associations, and actually the companies have their own profiles within a community, and then from that, the staff underneath those within each organisation. So a couple of things that we've found. So we've actually been doing this for quite some time now. We actually went the other way of scaling back a lot of functionality that we introduced before because we found that people just weren't using it. So you don't want to overcomplicate anything you're doing. The more things that you put there for them to do, the harder it is going to be to get people engaged. Don't have long registration forms when people sign up. Make it as quick and easy for them to get that information on your site or on your community, and then reuse that information. You can always go back to them at a later point and ask for more information, but don't put too much up there in the first place. Strict upload procedures. We've taken away the necessity for people to follow a format. They can upload a one-line comment. If they just want to say, I visited here and it was fantastic, let them do that. If they want to write a full novel, let them do that as well. So really let the user dictate how they use any functionality that you've got. Make sure that you will benefit and the functionality you provide does meet the objectives that you've started with. So you know what you want to deliver and how you can get there. One of the examples we did is we created friends within the site initially, and the same actually with groups. But what we found is that, for example, with VJV, they've got a common interest anyway. They're all interested in the VJV product and brand, so you don't need to create subgroups of that or friends of that because they've all got that joint interest that they're there. So actually you just allow people to communicate, but don't put another barrier in the way. Do make sure you reference all the content against the products, as I said, so that brings maximum benefit to any reviews or any discussions and postings that are put there. Allow visitors to contribute whatever they like, whether that's a review, video, photos, a discussion, a dream itinerary. That was my dream, that's where I want to go next. But just allow people to really engage with it and add what they want. No community is an island. Do share all content you get with as many channels as you can. As I say, I've already mentioned about Facebook, but there are many other social channels out there that you can share content to. Incentivize for the content you want. If you are launching a new product, also use your community to test new products. You know, put new ideas out there to your super users, make them feel really strong part of a community, people who will engage with that and give them the chance to review things that you're going to do before you launch it. Track what your users are doing and then make sure you provide relevant information back to them. Relevancy, and I mentioned it earlier, is a really big thing. I mean, social media is so big, it is everything to everyone. To make a real business element out of it, you want to provide relevant content to people. So just very quickly to summarize, to start with, on your own site, on-site social media, you want to look at building your reviews and community functionality. Generate and gather the content from online visitors, but make sure you don't overcomplicate that. Share that content with many other sites and social media sites that are out there. Facebook and Twitter are obviously very big ones at the moment. Who knows what's going to be next, but do get that content and share it as far and wide. And if you've got a niche audience, find out where your audiences are and share content there. Drive brand to new audiences and then get them back to your website. And then engage with your existing members and get them to come back, keep coming back to the site by offering them new things. And that is that. Now I'm going to see if I can get back without falling over. Thank you.